Welcome to Discovering Ancient Greek via Genesis. This is our second look at Genesis. We're going to look at the first two lines. Okay, so the first thing you might notice here is that I added some green shading on the word for the. And you'll notice that the word in English, we have only one word for the. And in Greek, you have different forms. And we're going to look at that in a second, but first I wanted to point out that I made a mistake in the last video for arche. I ended it with a epsilon, and it should have been an eta, and I've corrected that here. So you can see arche and arcane. Okay, and speaking about mistakes and imperfection, you were looking at the God, and we don't know which God we're talking about if we are looking at the fact that the Genesis was written in Greek, the time that Plato's philosophy was very influential. And in Plato's universe, there was a supreme God who lived in the highest heavens and created the Platonic ideals. And then there was a lower god called the Demiurge who crafted the material universe. And this idea was taken up by Gnosticism and was probably known to the writers of Genesis, the Greek writers of Genesis. It's interesting to see this vision of a craftsman constructing the universe with a compass. This is, of course, the famous painting by William Blake, watercolor, called a watercolor etching, who definitely resembles the Demiurge, but his name was actually, in Blake's mythology, Urizen. And as it reads here, in the mythology of William Blake, Urizen is the embodiment of conventional reason and law. He is usually depicted as a bearded old man. He sometimes bears architect's tools to create and constrain the universe, or nets in which he ensnares people in webs of law and conventional society. Okay, so that brings our focus on the first word in Genesis, which is en, which means in, and let's see. Okay, I call n a dimensional because it refers to a time or a place or a direction. In this case, a point in time. And it can mean in or on or at. And you have English derivatives: encompass, encircle, enclose, encapsulate. So that gives you the idea of putting the world, putting the universe, constraining the universe, in other words. And so the Demiurge created the material universe, into which people are, in Gnostic theory, enslaved in the material universe. So the craftsmen tended to make mistakes, and that's why there's mistakes. People make mistakes. And there's evil in the world. So I don't want to get too deeply into philosophy. Anyways, let's go back to our word for the. So you have hotheos, and so let's add the word for the in our chart here. And for the sky, the heaven, it's ton or anon. You can add it here. Get the down accent on there. Let's get the down accent. Unfortunately, don't have a... I probably do have an easy way to do this, but I forget now. I could try it here. I don't think I can get it. Try it again later. Ton or anon. And we've got tain, gain. So we'll add that there in this box. Just copy and paste that. Oops. All right. Now, we can fill in a couple of more. You notice Theos and Oranos are in the same group. They're masculine nouns of the second group. So we can still use the same word for the. And in the target case, you can use the same word for the. for teon, ton teon. Now for ge, we can look to the second line of Genesis, and we'll see we can use this word. Oh, it's going to be the wrong size though. Let's just put it in here. I need let's grab a plain Ada. So here you have masculine the in hoteos, and in the target case ton teon, and here you have a feminine the he gei in the focus case and ten gain in the target case. So there's actually 3 genders in Greek, and we're going to see those in a little while, probably in the next tutorial. Okay, so we've covered everything in this line except for the word kai, which is a connector. You'll notice in the second line we have a word called de. Now, both words can mean and, but the word de is usually the second word in a sentence that indicates, hey, I'm starting a new sentence with the preceding word. So in ancient Greek you didn't have punctuation, so that was one device to, you didn't even have spaces between the words. So anyways, the de is one way to indicate that you're starting a new sentence. So I'm gonna use lowercase and to represent kai, and I'll use uppercase and to indicate de. Did I how did I do this? Is there a... Okay, I've got 18 here. Let's go to 18. Looks like I've got more spacing here. Okay, so now we've got another verb, and this is a very special verb in that it's the verb to be, and the meaning is was. the earth. I'm going to say she was. I'll use commas. So okay, we have our verbs here, and the base verb in the present form, in the current form, is aimé, and in the I'm calling this one past continuous because, or past durational, as opposed to past specific, because past specific is an action that's defined it's well defined in a period of time, while past durational is more continuous action. Okay, now you'll notice two words in blue, highlighted in blue, or cyan, light blue. No, I think it's it's not cyan, it's whatever, light blue. And there's two possible translations here I used. So both these words are start with an alpha, and these are blue. I'm using to indicate that they're noun modifiers. And let's take a look at our vocabulary. Okay, noun modifiers. So generally, if the A stands for un or not, so this oratos means you can separate the a from it. Horatos, the Greeks generally drop their H sounds in the middle of words. So horatos comes from the verb horao, which means to see, or I'm able to see. So the word means unseen or invisible. And the second word is a little intimidating to look at, so I have to split it up into parts. A, un, or not. Kata, which means down. And skuastos, which means prepared. In fact, it's the noun modifier has three possible endings in the focus version, and there's the feminine ending a, the masculine ending os, and the neuter ending on. But if the word begins with a alpha, it doesn't use the feminine ending. It combines the feminine and the masculine into the os ending. So what does it mean? What do these, what does this word mean? It's hard to get the word down into the English translation. But you can see related words here. Skuaste means prepared or artificial. Skue means equipment or clothing. Skuos means container or vessel or implement. Sometimes, metaphorically, it can mean the body as a vessel or instrument of the soul. Skuatso means prepare. Kataskue means a fixture or fixed asset. And kataskuatso means to fix down a preparation or furnish or equip. So I'm using the word, I'm going to use the word uncontained because it relates to the idea of container not being, in other words, not being contained. And it sort of gets the word kata in there, meaning down. Uncontained down. In other words, if the earth is uncontained, it doesn't have a gravitational force that brings objects down. So, before creation, before the God created the heaven and the earth was invisible because there was no light, and uncontained because there was no gravity to bring everything down. Okay, I think we'll end it there. So we'll see you next time for the next line of Genesis. Bye for now.